legs. It's a little puffy, just like crab
Oh,
legs
that's
would be.
funny.
And then we start talking about this and that. And then I'm like, I really feel you've been a crab before. And at first she's like, let me think about this. And then finally she lifts her sleeves of her shirt and she has a crab tattoo on her shoulder. And I'm like, okay, well, you already knew it. You just didn't really, you know,
Oh, that is
realize it.
hilarious.
So I've got a list of like 30 of those. So yes, and then it's really helpful to know what animal you connect to because it makes a lot of sense in your behaviors, in where you love to live, where you thrive. This woman is now living by the beach, and it's so good for her. Obviously, she needs to be by the water. If you're a crab and you're in the desert, you won't thrive. You will get sick. You will have health issues. And same thing
Yeah.
for animals too. So I get a feel for what other bodies our animals have been, and so staying in tune with the animal totem helps. Personally, I still feel like you don't necessarily have to have one. You can have multiple, and they all help you in different ways whenever you need one or wherever you are in your life. Different life chapters, different steps. One animal will be better for you, and then they show up. They show up in dreams. They show up in you start seeing whales everywhere you look, just on little drawings or random things on TV, and so you feel that whale energy. And that's what happened to me when I wrote the first book. The whales really came to my rescue, and I talk about it in the book because my energy was shifting and I was really scared because I had no clue what was happening here and I felt really destabilized. But they came to give me their unconditional love, and that's what they do in
Wow.
this world. The whales just migrate all over the world to support us. They have the biggest heart of all living creatures,
Yeah.
and so it's powerful. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it really is powerful. Um, so you help and you guide so many patients and their families through the process of transition, sort of into the spiritual. And for so many, it's so often fraught with guilt and distress, mostly from the human parents or the human owners. How can we better understand this process, sort of, and make a beloved pet's transition more loving?
So when we realize that ultimately we're honoring the animal's wishes of not suffering anymore
Hmm.
because it's their time to go and to move on out of their body, pursue their, going back to heaven, maybe coming back to reincarnate. But when we realize that their life purpose, their life mission is fulfilled, completed, it's
Mm,
much easier to say, "Oh my God, I don't want you to suffer, and I'm going to help you." It is the most loving gift of freedom that we can give them because of they've done so much for us. So when they start showing us signs that, okay, I have no more quality of life, we've tried everything to help them, but we're at the end of the road here and we need to shift our in mode. Let's not suffer, and how can we facilitate you passing and dying? And a lot of times just giving them permission to say, okay, I love you, thank you for all these years, please free yourself, I'm giving you permission, you can go, don't worry about me. It's amazing how animals will go on their own without even me having time to come and bring the medications to help them. And so it
mm,
depends a lot on the ties also that we have with our animals, and some animals will sacrifice themselves no matter what. They just won't let go, and that's a personality trait. And so they do need the medications to be free because they won't be able to let go. So it's an act of kindness, and that's how I see it, and that's how the families I help see it. They find peace in what I'm helping them do because their animal is ultimately asking us.
yeah, yeah. I think, and for many of us who have always had pets, we can really relate to what you're saying. Um, Now, you have an incredible practice, and so how do you prepare yourself emotionally each day before going into work, and what are the some of the things you do on a daily basis to balance your life?
It's very simple. I play outside.
Ah,
I I walk on our 4 acres. The two cats come take walks with me. The two dogs, the pig now joins us, and we just walk. I wear very thin sole shoes so I can ground myself, feel the earth under my feet. Sometimes I'll be barefoot,
hmm,
and then I swim in our pond. I feed my soul with nature because it's really where the best energy is. And I ask guidance. I ask the animals and nature and the universe and everybody who's passed on. I ask them to give me the strength to help. And just, I feel full of gratitude to be able to help and that we have ways to help and suffering. So, and I'm excited to do that because I love what I'm doing. I love to share love and peace with the world. So, you have to love what you do, and I do.
Yeah. Um, Now, we had a conversation, and we talked about one of your animals that you have, well, that you sort of saved, um, and you have a potbelly pig.
Yeah, Wilbur just knocked at the door and said, "Okay, I'm here. Let me in." And he threw us for a loop because really we were not prepared. We had no clue how to take care of a pig. We had to pig-proof the yard, and we have to really think a lot about this. And we were both sleep deprived, my husband and I, because this pig is, when they say pigs are smart, he has outsmarted us many times. But we're keeping up with him. It's been 2 years now. We're doing really well, and oh my God, he's just so adorable. He walks on the leash. He loads up. He has a ramp to get up in the back of my truck. We go to the beach. He causes a ruckus when we show up somewhere. Everybody comes to see him. Nobody wants to eat bacon anymore and ham. So he's fulfilling his life purpose. He's touching everybody's heart, and I'm just so happy. It's just so much fun. He's
Oh,
amazing.
that's so wonderful.
We
Um,
embraced the challenge. Not an easy one, but we embraced it.
it's what, and what are some of the other animals that you have?
Right now we have a little bunny, the smartest bunny of all, named Cream Puff. He was a rescue also. He's a 3 pound, full of wilderness, and he's really having a great time. He grazes outside with Wilbur. And we've got the 2 cats, 2 dogs who have been with us for over 10 years. So we have an older crew. We just lost we had a few chickens. They all went to heaven. We had 4. They all got old, and we
Oh,
spoiled them rotten. We rescued a horse who also left us not that long ago, and a few bunnies. So it's a difficult cycle of life and death, but oh my God, I'm so grateful for all these amazing moments that I've shared with all of them, and I'm so grateful they've all found me one way or another, and we're having a great time.
um, and I just like to touch on Hayley. Could you talk a little bit about Hayley for us? Because after all, the book is called Hayley's, right?
She started all this. So Hayley was my husband's dog who he had rescued her before I came along. And when I came along, Hayley could smell the vet in me, and she didn't really like me at first. And
Ah,
um, and then she saw that, okay, I had potential. She could make me a better human. So she embraced me and taught me a lot of wonderful things. So she lived to be 14 years old. She was with me for 10 years, and my husband for the years before that. She was an amazing patient. She was the best patient. You could do whatever you wanted to her, and she taught me to be careful. And it hurts, even though I'm a good girl. It hurts, and be
yeah.
gentle with whatever you do. There's no routine in medicine. Every time you draw blood, it's the first time for that animal. You need to be gentle. So she lived a full life, and she got sick. I mean, she had some old dogs problems, so her breathing had become really difficult, and it was such a blessing that I could bring the medications from the hospital to our house to help her pass peacefully, so we wouldn't have to drive her in the car, because I'm afraid she would not have made it. She was, really at the end there.
Hmm.
So we helped her pass at home. It was devastating. I didn't know what my life would be, if I could even live after that. I was so devastated. And my
Yeah.
husband too, obviously. But that's when, after she passed, I felt her presence for the first time as I was crying because I felt the loss. I felt her hugging me from the other side, and then people started calling me out of nowhere to come help their animals, and I was scared. But I always told myself, I was talking to Hayley. I said, Hayley, you know what? This might not work, but it sounds like you really want me to do this, because people keep calling, and I can't just say no, and I have to figure something out and start a service and get all the paperwork and everything. So I asked Hayley to keep me safe through all this. And worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, I go on with my day. But I felt like she was haunting me. Everything in my life was bringing her back in forefront and say, hey, you can do better than this. Come on, you need to go to people's homes and help them. So I embraced the challenge, jumped off the cliff once again, and my wings kept me safe. So I'm
Keep
really
you
grateful.
flying.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Joanne. What a delight, absolute delight to have you on the show. And if you would like more information about Dr. Joanne and her work, you can visit www.HAYLEYSANGELS.com. And on there, you can also find the book, okay, Dr. Joanne's book, Hayley's Angels, and you can order it. And I'm sure you can reach out to Dr. Joanne if you on Facebook at HAYLEYSANGELS, Hayley's Angels, on Instagram at Dr. DrJoannEFEBVRECONNOLLY. And many thanks again for being here, Dr. Joanne, on Yin Yoga Lifestyle. What a treat.
My pleasure. Thank you again.
Hope to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Wilbur says hi.
Hi, Wilbur. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.